Alrighty, new launchers out in Fortnite Save the World. I know I don't really post that often, but it's very rare to see me on the game. But honestly, this weapon kind of piqued my interest. It's a new class of weapons and kind of like a whole unique system of a weapon. It is a launcher, so it's not like a weapon class, but the six perk is, well, not six perk. I guess like the enemy, it's, or well, whatever it's called, like the specialty. I forgot what it's called. The perk of the weapon is unique and new. So and I thought it was pretty cool, so I got on, upgraded it, and decided to test it out. So but basically, new weapon, ancient launcher, or ancients launcher. You can get it in the shop right now. I think it's 1650 gold. It comes in legendary. You don't have to flux it up like most stuff these days. I don't know why they do that, by the way. I don't know why they give you a purple copy and then they want you to flux it up. Doesn't make any sense to me, but there's extra flux in the legendary flux in the shop today. Anyways, I'm off track, but yeah, ancients launcher. I already tested it out. It's weird, I recorded the damage stuff before the intro, so like this is weird, my brain's kind of backwards. But basically the perk of it is target up to 8 enemies while aiming down sights to mark them with a glyph. Releasing aim down sights fires a salvo of projectiles that target each enemy marked with a glyph. So basically, it's like, if you ever played Overwatch, that one character which shoots like the spikes, like, you know, well, I don't know, not all Overwatch players, but basically, you aim down, you aim at enemies, you let the trigger go, and it just shoots those enemies, and it's up to 8 enemies. The one downside to this weapon right now is actually the overheat problem. I was running 2, and I think running 2 is kind of where it's at. However, I think instead of like a durability in this slot right here, actually, I'll show you. Instead of a durability right here, I think maybe like if they fix the energy cooldown thing, I think something like right there would be pretty good. I actually don't think durability is really worth it. With the durability on it, the durability is at, oh my gosh, I'm going to say the word 30 times. It's 213 without it. I actually changed it, and it's only 1, so why not? It's at 150. So it's about a fourth of it down. I was running durability in the mission. So basically, you'll see later in the video that it actually doesn't really take that much durability. So I think running damage to miss monsters and bosses is good for this right here. I was running double damage critical rating. You could switch out a damage for a crit damage and then run damage and crit rating, kind of like the normal build that you do on weapons. But for launchers, at least, I think having max damage, one-shotting enemies is kind of where the play's at least what I think. So I think like a good perks is kind of like where we're at right here. I think this is really good. And of course, it's only energy. Never run physical if you're a high-end, well, if any legendary weapon, usually just run energy. Now, if it was different elements, I'd probably have different copies for each one, but energy over physical every single time, because you don't really run into physical weapons unless, or physical enemies, unless if you're killing miss monsters and bosses, but you usually don't do that with launchers. So the loadout that we're actually running is Demolicious Penny. This is a go-to loadout. I was running Battle Beat Fumble with Totally Rocking Out. It's kind of like the go-to with trying to do a ton of damage. I know a lot of people complain about Totally Rocking Out, but loadouts are loadouts. Running a weapon without a loadout doesn't really make any sense, because you're trying to make a weapon as good as possible, and a weapon is not good if you're just running it by itself. You could take the majority of the weapons out of Save the World and just, or take the loadouts out of Save the World and just run the weapons. Majority of weapons aren't going to be that good, so loadouts kind of make what it is. I was running Resident Frequency. It increases your energy damage by 20% while your shields are at least 50% full, so I was one-shotting enemies pretty easily. You'll see it, which is not bad, actually. And then Enduring Machine. Explosive weapons have a 20% chance not to consume ammo with each shot. I don't know if this counts towards energy weapons. I think it does. I didn't really test it out. I don't think I was using that much ammo, though. I think from running it didn't seem like it. And then Energy Siphon. Eliminations with energy damage restore 8.5% of mission shields. There's not a lot of heroes that actually do rocket damage or anything launcher damage wise, so I just decided to do that so I can at least keep my Resonant Frequency up, so I'm doing more damage. But yeah, without that, you know, I think it's a pretty good loadout. I think this is kind of like where the go-to is at. Otherwise, yeah, let's jump right in the mission and just show it off. Alrighty, we're in the mission, and the new weapon has been released. I've been dabbling in it with a little bit, Beast recording, blah blah blah. Honestly, I just really wanted to do a video on this because this launcher is actually pretty cool. It piqued my interest. You very rarely see me on Fortnite these days because not all of this stuff piques my interest. But the new launcher's out, Bright Core Ancient Launcher. Is actually pretty sick. This is the build that I'm running: durability, damage, critical rating. The Miss Monster build, double Miss Monster or damage to Miss Monsters and bosses, not really kind of the way you want to go, in my opinion. because you're targeting 8 enemies. It's supposed to be like a crowd clearing weapon. It's a launcher, not like a mist monster killer. Kind of like, well, like the discharger, not anymore, but kind of. But yeah, a lot of people honestly say it's bad, but honestly, I've been enjoying it. I think it's really good for like clearing enemies specifically. Like if I'm just waving over these enemies right here, it just gets, okay, well, this is a max level mission. I guess I'm not going to one shot. There we go. So yeah, you just, mist monsters is not where it's at, but these low level enemies where you pretty much, it's like the Xenon bow where you just insta kill those. Now with mist monsters, it is a little bit difficult to insta kill them or get them low because this weapon's kind of not really meant for them. But for crowd clearing, like, oh, see, like Beast just right there demolished that. Let me go on the other end because I don't want to mess with him. It's been a minute since I've recorded a video with Beast, so I know he doesn't like that. But like, see these enemies right here, like, you see, it just insta kills them. It's honestly not that bad if you're crowd clearing. Clears enemies insanely good. And then the overheat is a problem, I will have to admit that. I hope they add like an overheat thing with it, like a perk, because weapons like this need like an overheat perk to like allow more shooting and whatnot. Beast is just always he's on this other side with me now. But I think that would make it better. But I'm running 2 because it just makes sense. Like if I'm running 1 and then it overheats, and I'll just switch to the other one. But against mist monsters like a smasher, it doesn't really do anything. Okay, well, it's overheated. Like it's not that much damage, but it is good for crowd clearing. I will say that. Like I truly think it is. Peep the cat right there. Up Pepper. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say on it, to be honest. I mean, it's a good weapon. You can get it in the shop right now. It just came out. So pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. This one's not supercharged. I can't imagine someone would supercharge this weapon, but at the same time, probably, maybe, could be. Oh wait, you know, actually, there's something I wanted to see. Does it shoot through? Because it's shooting over. Can I like shoot through the? I think it just goes over them. So I think it does work that way. But oh yeah, honestly, not bad for like first defense, and it's holding up in 160. So I mean, that's kind of like a good sign. You know, me and Beast is running it. I don't know if anyone else is, and we have boom base, so I am getting that boost, but not bad. Yeah, so second part of the defense, I can see someone running double mist monsters, damage mist monsters and bosses. However, I just don't think it's worth it because you're not doing that much damage against mist monsters and bosses. Not really worth it. However, I do think the durability is kind of not necessary, especially with this launcher. You don't really need that. Or I don't know why I went to that. I don't think you really need that. I think let me look at the stats here. Where's it at? Stats. Oh, it's not going to show me. Am I like trolling myself right now? There we go, stats. So magazine size 10, range 512. The range is actually infinite. I've noticed that. Durability is 213. I think that's after having an extra durability on it. But the thing is I feel like crafting rocket launchers aren't that expensive in reality. So it's not that bad. I don't know. I really wish instead of a durability, I had a cooldown to overheating. I think that'd be pretty good. Otherwise, yeah. Ooh, with Mist Mon or the boss spawn, I don't think this is gonna be able to. Yeah. Well, I honestly forgot boss spawns in 160. So, but honestly, this weapon's not really meant for bosses. I think it truly shines in like eliminate and collects, encampments. Cat is trying to eat coins. Look at the cat. She only comes up whenever I'm like streaming or talking. I don't know if it's like her sign to just like come hang out. Trust me, she gets attention. Promise. Otherwise, yeah, honestly, I don't know. I actually really enjoy this weapon. I think it's pretty cool. I think seeing it on other weapons, like I think a bow would be pretty sick. Imagine like a Xenon bow, but instead of like shooting, like piercing, where it goes through multiple enemies, you just look at enemies and then it just shoots multiple shots at once. Kind of like an Easter egg, like bomb. If you ever used like one of the Easter egg characters, it, you know, makes that little explosion, but instead it just targets multiple enemies and goes around. I think something like that would be pretty cool. But yeah, like I said, eliminate collect missions, probably the best. Encampments, probably too. Marking multiple enemies is very unique. I think by far the reason why this weapon's so cool is just like the uniqueness of it. This is the first of its weapon, like, or first of its kind. And seeing it on like other weapons, like an AR, even a sniper, I think a pistol. Archer said he would want to see it on a pistol. I think that's pretty cool. Like I think a pistol would be pretty cool too. I don't think a shotgun would work. The shotgun shoots multiple pellets and you're kind of up close. Like I'd imagine maybe like marking multiple enemies up close, but it's like faster. Shotguns really wouldn't work. I think an AR pistol kind of like where it would be at. Otherwise, honestly, not that bad of a weapon. I think it's super cool. Hey, come on now. She's scratching my chair. But yeah, honestly, I just think it's really cool. Also, I just really like the look of it. Like, I have a skin on it, so it's like all black. But by itself with like the actual like, okay, I don't think it will like show me it, but yeah, like kind of like the ancient look. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, look at her. She just loves, I don't know what it is. She's just chilling up there now. But yeah, honestly, it's not that bad. I think it's a cool launcher. Let me know what you think down in the comments, because I want to know you guys' opinions, because I've heard people hate it. I've heard people love it. I've heard people say that it needs buff. I think it does need a buff. The damage wise is not bad. I think where you're one-shotting enemies is a really good thing. The only downside to it is the overheating problem. But if you're using two at once with the loadout that I'm running, I think that's where it kind of shines. Otherwise, yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget, like and subscribe as always. You know, you already know I love saying this. I miss saying it. Have a great morning, afternoon, even wherever you are, and I will catch you guys in the next one.